Another video, and this time we're gonna do live audits. So you have submitted your websites and I'm going to dive into each individual one of them and give you some pointers and in my opinion, right, what's gonna be the best bang for your buck at this stage in your business. Let's get into it.
We have about 5-6 brands here, so we're just gonna jump right in. First one is palmerstyle.com, and to be honest, I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion on some of the things that I'm seeing here. I've seen some of these websites before, not gonna lie, but it's been months and months and months, potentially even maybe a year. Not sure, because I'm trying not to look at them. I'm just trying to see first, and kind of get a first impression. So first one we have here is Palmer Style, and I'll talk about briefly certain things here and there. I'm not gonna be able to touch on every single detail because we have so many, but I'm gonna try to touch on some of the important things here. So just from the get-go, okay, yeah, I don't know when exactly this pop-up appeared, but I can actually speak on what I see here. So I mean, at a glance, it just seems like a lot. Like it's a lot of text, a lot of stuff to kind of read and go over. And even though I think that what interests you, it's great because from the get-go, you can potentially put them in certain categories, right? Once you get their email address. I like that it's just a single email address in here. I like that you have for the actual headline of this, you actually have the offer, right? 50% off your first purchase. It just it gets lost, right? Between all the text, it almost looks like a wall of text. And then there's, the design also has some text in here, but not quite as much as like what we see over here on this side. And then I would say the call to action is something that I would still try to experiment and play around with. I think join maybe a weaker call to action versus get discount or get 50% off, just kind of reiterating the offer that you have up here. And then again, I think it's just a lot of text in here, so reducing the amount that you have there. The join Palmer, I would get rid of that. I would try to keep it more simple than not, and I would A/B test between this, including this and then not including this for a period of time and seeing what converts better. I'm guessing that just a single email is going to convert a little bit better there. All right, and then we have Big Hero. Ooh, okay, so we have a slider. We have a slider that's automatically moving. That's automatically kind of like a red flag for us, especially with, I don't even have time to read or see what this is all about without it actually moving on to the next thing. So if you want your messaging, right, and the most important thing that you want to communicate to your customers to kind of stick around a little bit longer, then I would just look at this as your business card, right? This is like the first impression that I get for your business. So knowing kind of like who you are and what you stand for is going to be important. So it's important information, but it just kind of flies away too fast. So I would say just keep it as a static image, not a slider. I do believe there's an opportunity to do a slider, maybe somewhere down below on the page. But I think this Big Hero banner here, I think you would be better off using a single static image versus a slider. Navigation here at top, I actually really love. You're doing a really good job with this and categorizing your products, and then also having some of your additional information. This is something that we typically not recommend to have up here, but you're organizing everything here so well, and between men's, women's. You actually categorize things here by the type of item, and then you also give them some additional collections as well to kind of look into. And then you have the featured images. So I think navigation wise, this actually looks really, really nice. I love that you have the live chat and then the relax pass, just like kind of like staggered on top of each other like that. That's like one of those things where we're not looking necessarily at mobile today, but I always advise people to just pay attention to those floating things that you have, because they can actually clutter your store. On desktop, you probably won't fall into this, but on mobile, you will start to see a lot of things pile up, right? You have that 15% off for the pop-up, the live chat, you have the rewards program here. So it all can become too cluttered when it comes to mobile. Something very quick here, I would suggest either going one way or the other. Like you have the headline here, which is centered, but then you have the text and the button left align. I would either do all center or like all left align, not a combination of both. It just kind of looks kind of broken here. So, and it could have been just maybe some kind of other CSS rule or something that kind of moved this into the middle like that. It could have been just more to the left hand side. And then I would also, especially here within the homepage, I would always try to condense as much as possible the information that you have in here. And a lot of times, really, if you can succinctly put this information into like a 3-column 1, 2, 3 on what this is all about, then you'll be better off, right, than having like 2-3 paragraphs in here about the company. And if you still want to have information about the company. I still think this is a little bit too much. So putting, I would say half of that information here on the homepage would be good. Still with that learn more to then go to the full about us page. Photography here in general, like it just looks great. I love the photography. I love the badges that you also have here, just kind of at a glance, knowing that some of these are new arrivals. I love the reviews, just having the ability to see social proof from the get-go. I think it's great. This kind of gets lost a little bit. So I don't know if this is the best placement for this. So I would maybe, yeah, play around with this. And this is something that Judge Me kind of gives you out of the box, but a lot of times it's not the best use case, right? To just kind of throw it in here randomly. That maybe, hold on, let me see what you have here. Okay, so you're using like a reviews carousel. And then, oh, you also have one of these. Okay, this is actually, okay, yeah, this section right here. Everybody listen up. If you have customers who are posting on social media, or they're sending you images, or they're putting images within the actual reviews, use those images and create this right here. Put this on your homepage, put this on your collection page, put this on your product page. This is literally the best form of social proof that you can have on your website, is actual customers wearing your items. I mean, forget about the written reviews. Like if you have this at a glance, you can give off the impression, right? That, I mean, it is real. Like you have real customers, you have happy customers, and they're here, and you're featuring them in a nice gallery here on your homepage. So this is, I think this goes beyond, because a lot of people tend to do the Instagram feed, but I would forget the Instagram feed. I would do this 1,000 times more than an Instagram feed on your store. And again, I would put this on every page. Let me just double check, just see like a random product page here. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom. Hopefully they do have this. Yes, they do. Okay, beautiful. So yeah, I mean, they're doing it right. This is exactly what I would want to have on all my pages. I think in addition to, yeah, some of these reviews that are being displayed here, I think, yeah, this right here just takes it up that next level. Let's see what else. I know I kind of jumped around here. I did take a peek here at the bottom. I saw, I think that was part of the rewards program, the Relax Pass. So this is perfect. Like I think a lot of people tend to do rewards programs, but then they do the very bare minimum in terms of like, what the rewards program is all about, versus actually having a dedicated section on your homepage and the rest of your pages. And obviously, in addition to having the pop up here, I think that's great. But having a dedicated section, and also coming up with a name, right? Coming up with a name and the actual benefits and sort of making it more real, right? It's not just like Palmer Rewards Program. It's like, it's called the Relax Pass, right? And you get $5 off coupon when you sign up, and then you have all these members and freebies and things are available to you if you join this loyalty program. So I think taking that extra step will definitely make you stand out from other brands who are just like, yeah, this is more than likely a Smile.io, the app. And with that app, you can do a lot of different things, right? But at the bare minimum, it's just like, yeah, it's just points and that's it, right? And that's about the extent of what they do. And then they have this floating icon that kind of looks like something, but customers doesn't really know. So yeah, having this and talking more about it throughout your website is something that, yeah, I would absolutely do. All right, let's jump into the next brand here. We have 52.co. I believe they're a Christian brand. So again, yeah, this is a little bit more punchy, right, than what we saw before. It's very clear, 10% off. Call to action, again, I would still play around with that call to action instead of just like the I'm in, just more relevant to what they're about to receive, right, when I sign up with my email. Let's see. So we have Bolt Faith West Coast Soul. Okay, so I'm kind of getting an idea of what this brand is all about. We got a big shop now. The whole thing is not clickable. I would highly encourage us to have the whole image clickable. That's always just good. This feature collections text. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, you're doing really good stuff here with these graphics in here, mixing the actual graphics of the shirts along with some graphics with, the brand and the photography overall, pairing up some of the fonts that I've already seen here. So, I mean, design wise, this is actually really well done. I would say in terms of copy, that's where like feature collections, it's one of those things where even up here too, it's very vague, very ambiguous. And a lot of times really those two words, feature collection, it comes with, when you download any theme on Shopify, more than likely you're going to get a section that says feature collections. So I would try to change up some of that verbiage here, because you don't want to look or sound like a template that was just uploaded onto the site. And you don't, right, when it comes to some of the graphics and the new drops just landed, that's definitely a lot better. But yeah, that feature collections or feature categories, like anything that says the word featured, I always kind of like, what is it? The kids say, it gives me the ick, right? Because like I know that a lot of themes just out the gate, just that's like the lorem ipsum, type text that comes with every brand. So I think you have the look and feel. It's just, I think, a matter of manipulating some of the copy so that you don't sound like everybody else. This right here, I just kind of randomly saw this, but yeah, this image hover effect I love, but I think a better use of that image effect would be to actually, I guess, for products like this where you actually have designs on the front and the bottom, I think that works okay. But to me, the best use of this would be first image, you actually show the design. On hover, you're actually showing a lifestyle photo of your customers wearing this item. That's going to be literally the best thing you can do for your brand right here. I don't particularly love the from 38. That just kind of means, like, I'm guessing like the XLs maybe cost a little bit more. I always try to have my shirt designs kind of be the same price, so I would figure out maybe a good average in between, whatever some of those extra large, maybe 3 or 4x cost maybe a couple dollars extra. I would try to maybe cost average it, because you're not going to get a whole lot of people potentially to purchase some of those extra large sizes, and that would kind of get rid of some of the ambiguity here with like the from $32. Like, I would just make sure that I have a singular price point for my products. Let's see, you have some reviews here. Trust badges, I love these trust badges. I think these actually look really great. Something that I always talked about when it comes to trust badges is making sure that the badges match in terms of the style of the badge. A lot of times, like, you'll see for example, maybe the truck has like it's line work, but it's like very thin lines, and maybe you'll have one of these icons that is like fully colored in, and it's just like they don't look like they're from the same pack, if you will. So anytime that you can make them look more consistent, that's definitely going to be better. So you had the free shipping on orders over 100. Did you also, okay, so you have it up here as well. What happens if we add something to cart here? Awesome, beautiful. This is exactly something that I want to see. You also have trending and upsell products here within the cart, which is awesome. Something that I wouldn't recommend here when it comes to some of the cart buttons is I would leave it as just your checkout button. Don't display the view cart. Like, this is the cart. Like, I don't need to go in and to view the cart again on a dedicated page. So my recommendation is always just keeping that cart drawer as your main cart, and then from here getting them that linear path, right? From the product page, I see the cart drawer, and from the cart drawer, the only option that I should have is just going straight to checkout. So removing that view cart button, I would definitely do, and I would keep the checkout button in here. Something that we talk about too is having just the add to cart button display here on the product page is absolutely crucial, especially when it comes to clothing brands, because you don't want them to, like, if you have the expedited buttons like the Shop Pay or Google Pay or Apple Pay, if I click on that, I will get directly taken to checkout without being able to see any other products or potentially be upsold or find anything else on your store. So it's important to have just a singular add to cart button here. Now, when it comes to the actual cart and checkout, here's where you can actually go crazy with those buttons. And some themes actually allow this out the gate very easily to have your big checkout button, and then right underneath maybe you have Apple Pay and Shop Pay. I would definitely do that here on the actual cart, and I would do it and make sure that it's enabled in your checkout, which by default it should be if you're using Shopify payments and you have all the checkboxes tickered on. Love the color swatches, size chart. This is great. Something that we've been actually discussing lately. A lot of people tend to forget to put whether it's inches or centimeters or what the actual number means. And beyond just having the size chart, a couple things that I will say here is very important to also showcase or display some kind of simple graphic that showcases where is it that you're taking this length, right? Is it from the top of the collar? Is it from the top of the shoulder? Same with the chest. Around where? Is it like right underneath the armpits? Is it more, middle of the armpits that you're taking this measurement? And not that people are necessarily measuring their chest or whatever, but they can actually compare some of these measurements with maybe some of the shirts that they currently have and try to make a better decision based on what you're telling them. Within the size chart, I think it's important to also have this be written. So this is actual text, which is really good. Something that I would recommend here. Instead of using necessarily like a JPEG or an image, being so that will be harder or almost impossible for someone with disabilities to actually read what that image actually says. So when you have real text, you're being more accessible, right, to certain customers. So beyond also having the size chart, I would definitely include information here about the size and fit. How does it actually fit? Is it about normal, right, from your regular shirts? Is it more of an oversized fit? If you had images here with customers wearing the items, then talk to me about the models, how big or how much do they weigh and what type of size they're wearing, so I can kind of compare and see visually maybe what size I need to kind of lean towards. A lot of people, when it comes to t-shirts and things like this, they know what they are, and it's pretty straightforward. So to me, more important than just having the size chart is including that additional context for them. How does the shirt typically wear, comparing it to your other half dozen shirts in your closet? That's going to be an important piece of information that I would definitely want to include somewhere in here. I love that you have these, and to be honest, like you may have, you have classic fit in here. So it's just literally a matter of having that information within the size chart info. But I love that you have this broken down. Actually, you do talk about the fit in here, which is great. Again, anything that has to do with size and fit, I would throw it up with the size chart information. But I love that you have, shipping and tracking. This is exactly what I would recommend to have in here. Just have bullet points. What I would definitely recommend, I don't know if you talk about it here, but I would talk about returns. So instead of shipping and tracking, I would call it shipping and returns, and just talk about what's going to be the information that I need to know about returns right within here. Let's see. This is something that I always talk about too, which like there may be some products that have no reviews, and then when you scroll down here, you'll see like there's no reviews either here. So at the end of the day, if I'm looking at this product page in particular, I may not have a good feeling about the brand, right? Because there is absolutely no social proof, versus what we saw earlier with the other brand, where whether they had reviews or not for this particular product, they still had that gallery section which showcased actual customers wearing the items. And they also have the reviews carousel. So they're showcasing reviews from maybe other products, but they're showing them in here to let the customer know, hey, this is not our first rodeo. We have happy customers. This is something that needs to be pushed almost on every single page on your site. You don't want to seem like you're just starting out. So anything that you can do to help that is going to be beneficial, and anything you can do on almost every single page on your website is going to be beneficial. What is it, like the average amount of pages that someone will go is like 1.5 pages. So if I'm coming here directly from social media and I go directly to this page, I'll maybe see this page, maybe not see a whole lot of reviews, not see a whole lot of pictures with people. Maybe I go to, this page, also see no reviews, no form of social proof. Then I maybe potentially could be discouraged, right, to purchase from you. So anytime that you can include that information all throughout here, I definitely would.
Hey, before I jump into the next one, I want to say my name is Christian Pignon, one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online. We've served over 300 clothing brands in the last year alone. I would appreciate a like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of our latest content.
All right, next up we have Little Rat Things. This one is pretty cool. I mean, I have a couple boys, so I purchased a couple shirts from them in the past. So I would say maybe I'm a little bit biased, but at the same time, I haven't seen this site in a very long time. I love this grab your mystery offer. I think that's actually very smart. I haven't seen a whole lot of people do this, but I think the brands that do it captures my attention. At least for me, it captures my attention. It's like, I want to know what this mystery offer is. So if you're on the fence about doing some kind of discount, I would maybe implore to test this out. It's always important. And to be honest, it could be the exact same offer as maybe some of the other ones that we've seen today, maybe a 10 or 15% off. But the fact that they are kind of hiding it and letting me know, it's like, hey, this is a mystery offer. Curiosity killed the cat, right? Like, is that the phrase? I think that's the phrase. I want to know what this offer is. So I think this is actually very, very smart. I love the call to action, to claim the discount. So at least I know it is some kind of discount. It's not a free item, which giving me context clues. I think that's awesome. Navigation here. This is great. This is exactly what we recommend in terms of navigation. Is all the links up here should take you directly to product, right? Sometimes we'll see, about and some additional links in here, but for the most part, I would say 98% of the links in here should take you directly to products. Something that, especially with kids clothing, a lot of people tend to also want to shop maybe by age group. That's like something that's like it's kind of big. So that may be an opportunity here within the navigation to kind of just shop by age group instead of like actual, product type. That's kind of like the main breakdown here is like we're really breaking down the product types, which I absolutely love, because you can get at a glance, you get to know. And again, we talked about this being kind of like the business card of your business. Like at a glance, the products that they offer. We got t-shirts, onesies, shorts, jackets, outerwear, swimwear, all for kids, cool kids only, actually. Very important there. So at a glance, they're giving us just a lot of information from the brand where we don't even have to scroll to kind of see some of the products, what they offer, who this is for, and we get the branding, we get the information here for them. Something that actually they're a bigger brand overall, but something I usually don't recommend is having just like initials or maybe like just an icon as part of your logo in here. I always want to reiterate and make sure that everyone knows this is Little Red Things, right? It's easier to remember, right? When I see, and it's sort of like always omnipresent to see the logo. But if the logo doesn't have your name, it's going to be a lot harder for the customer to recall, what was that boys t-shirt brand? It's like L something, right? Like that's going to be a lot harder to recall than actually having the name Little Red Things displayed all throughout the website in multiple fashion. There are certain elements in here, right? Like you have the rad kind of scrolling around here, and maybe it's mentioned, throughout the site and other places, but having it there at the top with your logo, I think is very important, especially if you're starting out. I always tell people like, Nike has the luxury, and all these bigger brands, they have the luxury of just displaying the Nike swoosh. People automatically recognize that, but they've also spent millions and millions of dollars on branding and advertising to get to that point. Right? We don't have the luxury of doing that just yet. So having the name always present is going to be an important tidbit of information there. I love that. Okay, so I love this is something that we talked about, right? Like on Hover, we actually get to see the product being worn, which is absolutely what I would highly, highly recommend. And even if you can't do that for all of your products, do it for your best-selling t-shirts. Do it for the product that you're going to display on the homepage, and they're doing that just right here. Something that I wish it didn't clip off the product images. And some of these shirts, they look kind of blurry. You can kind of see that around the collar area towards the top. It just looks kind of blurry. The designs themselves, they look actually pretty sharp. They look pretty good. But the images themselves, they just look kind of blurry. So I would definitely want to bump up the quality there for some of the designs. And then a lot of these have, I guess some of them are front designs, some of them are back designs. I would try to, the same way that I think Palmer Style had the badges, right? So you have the new badges, maybe have like a badge that just kind of says, back design or something, just so that it's kind of like crystal clear that we know and understand, like some of these are back designs versus some of these are front designs, or maybe if they're both, like specify that so I know, like, we're going to get some kind of cool design in the front and the back. And then, the images clipping the sleeves, I would definitely want to at least display the full image. Yeah, same with the shorts here, just kind of getting clipped left and right. So what I love is that the images are zoomed in a little bit, so you can actually appreciate the design of the shirt, which is absolutely great. But I just, don't prefer it being clipped like that left and right. And then this one's kind of like the outlier, maybe a couple of other ones too. But just, getting all of that initial photo to be on a just clear white background, that's going to be the best thing you can do for all your product photography. Again, we talk about consistency throughout the website, and that's something that I would highly suggest to spend a little bit more time just kind of cleaning up and then making them look more consistent one from the other. For things like this, like shop the collections, like new arrivals, made in America, I would try to just create some graphics. I think that, you're covering the website pretty well with the photography, with the, I say customers and models, but the kids, but with the kids, like, they're all throughout here, all throughout the website. So I think for things like this, like shop the collection, we can kind of take a page out of, 52.co, where they've created some graphics, right, for their collections. So I think you have the branding, you have the knowledge, and you have the chops really to create some cool things here. And I think visually it's going to be more interesting too than just kind of seeing the same images that we'll probably see on the product photos. So anytime that you can create graphics for your collections, I would. Okay, so this is about, I think that's great. Icons, they look awesome here. I love the icons here. Everything that we're talking about here is very specific to this brand. This is something that I also implore people to just dig a little bit deeper when it comes to your trust badges, right? Don't just say, great quality, fast shipping, right? Like don't have the generic information. Have information that's really hyper targeted to your brand and what are your actual benefits. And if you don't have actual benefits, then maybe it's time to kind of go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, why someone would want to purchase from me, right? What am I offering in terms of service, in terms of quality, in terms of speed, in terms of maybe how long I've been in business? That what things can I say that will resonate with someone and make them feel a little bit more at ease, right? Shopping with me. Fueling the next generation. Okay, awesome. This was grab the mystery. Okay, I think that's great. I want to look at one of the product pages here real quick, just to see if we have anything. Okay, so we have sizes in here. I think that's good. Size chart. We have some of those trust badges that we saw on the homepage. We have them displayed here, which I think that's great. We have one review, details, size and fit, why shop LRT. That wishlist button is kind of hanging there by the corner. When it comes to wishlist, I love wishlist, especially for brands like these that they have a lot of different products, and the people who are going to be shopping here, they probably want to grab some things here and there and put them in a sort of in a little folder, right? So they can kind of come back to it. A lot of people they tend to do is just add to cart. That may be even easier to do. So I would either do the add to wish list somewhere underneath the add to cart, and instead of a button, I would have it plain text maybe with an underline. And then the other thing, I kind of see the floating circle, so I don't know if is that what does it? No. Oh, so yeah. So I wouldn't do the floating one. I would probably have this as part of my icons up here. It's easier to see for the customer. Typically that's where you would see them. It would be up here. And then if you can, I would do the call to action here, add to wish list, and I would have it as part of the image over here, the little heart on the very top corner. Just make it super easy for them to see and to click on it and to add it to the wish list. So I think that the idea is here, I think the execution, and it could be just like the app, right? The app that you may be using right now may not be the best or may not have those features where it allows you to add it up here, to have the heart within the image. And that's where, finding the right app that will have those features would be ideal. Again, that image, I don't know why, these images, they just look kind of blurry all around. It's like the actual design looks great, but the actual edge of the shirt just looks kind of blurry. So I would definitely look into that. I love this. Anytime that you can expand on product benefits, I think that's a smart move, especially here within the product page. Complete the look. I think this is good. I've never seen this work really well. I don't know if it's this style of section that just doesn't do really well, but I think it's worth a shot. I would definitely look into analytics just to see if this particular placement and the way that this works is actually the most conducive. Are people actually using this? And if they are, more power to you. I think that's good. Ooh, okay. So now I'm seeing some different icons in here. And again, we talk about consistency. So having some of those sections kind of be, the same from page to page would be something that I would want to see. Let me see something. If I click on another shirt, something else that I recommend for brands, and I don't see it in here. You may also light here towards the bottom of the page, which I think it's great, but there needs to be a recently viewed. And with the recently viewed, that's something that I sometimes recommend just having it as part of your footer group so that it follows you on every page of your website. But if you have a big catalog and you have a lot of things to look at, having a recently viewed is absolutely crucial so that customers can recall back and very easily see some of the products that they've seen and have already maybe gone through. So I think that you may also is great to have here, and again, I would put it on the footer group and have it omnipresent, right, on every page on your website where it kind of follows you around. That's one of the things that I always recommend when it comes to themes is if you're gonna buy a new theme and you're gonna purchase, something it's gonna be expensive, make sure that it has that section, that it has that recently viewed section, because it's one of those things where like you don't necessarily want to rely on an app for that, but yeah, recently viewed, definitely added in here.
Now, 1 second. If you are a clothing brand owner and you want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so you can go find a time right now. Link in the description down below.
All right, next up here we have stardustgoodies.com. So this, it looks just out of the gate here, I can already kind of tell, like, yeah, it looks like it's the Dawn theme or one of the free themes from Shopify, which again, it's not a bad thing. It just gives you this look and feel, and they've done a good job of at least creating some graphics, right, and doing some GIF images in here, but it still kind of gives off that look and feel of either the Dawn theme or like a free theme, which again, it may not be bad. If you're connecting with the right audience and you're showcasing them a product they want at a price point that they want, then the look and feel, I would say, it's at the bottom of the totem pole. A couple things that I see or noticed here, just off the gate, there are certain products here that don't have the title of the product. So like, for example, this right here, it says May the 4th, but it doesn't specify if it's a t-shirt, a hoodie, a hat, right? So having that consistency, this one has hoodie, this one has hoodie, this one again doesn't have a product title per se. So I would make sure that you always have that consistency in the product naming conventions, right? The first 2 to 3 words or keywords of the product title may be the actual design, May the 4th or General Frankie or Akira Kaneda's bike, right? Those 2 to 3 words are going to be, you know, the name of the design. And then you get to 1 or 2 more words that describe maybe some adjectives, right? It's either a black t-shirt or maybe a short sleeve t-shirt or maybe a black hoodie or oversized, you know, tee. And then that last word, I said tee and hoodie and all that, but the last word is going to be what the product type is, right? Hoodie, t-shirt, hat, beanie. And that way you can keep that consistency throughout the whole website. We talked about the consistency with the imagery. So again, I would also, you know, implore to do that here as well. I do kind of like that. Yeah, May the 4th is relevant to the time of year that it is right now, so it makes sense that it's being displayed up here and that it's being displayed here on this first product for this collection here. I also like this front and back at a glance, just kind of showing and showcasing what the product looks front and back. I think that's actually very smart. This actually has I would say, best of both worlds, right? You have the front and back on the first image. When you hover over it, you actually get to see it on a model, zooming in a little bit on the actual design of the product. So kudos to you on that. I think that's cool. And then the actual shape of it, I think that's a cool design. I think that's a cool thing to do. So I don't like that as, you know, clipping on some of them, but it's actually a cool thing once you actually get to see it, you know, like something like this and this. But when it comes to, yeah, these right here, like some of them look kind of clipped or look kind of odd. I do want to mention this when it comes to this hero banner. So something that I would suggest, one, I mean, yeah, it looks a little bit blurry, just slightly. So definitely having just a sharper image here. I would say even a shorter image as well, because this takes a lot of real estate just from the homepage perspective. And then we need to have some kind of call to action, right? I love that the whole image banner is clickable. That's what we want to see here, but we need some kind of call to action, you know, shop the tee, limited time, shop now, something that also represents some kind of button where you can actually, the customer knows like, hey, I can click on this and I will be taken to that particular page. Oh, cool. So you have normal and oversized in terms of the shirt. So you have normal and oversized. So again, yeah, some of this information would be good up here. Like we always recommend, and you have, yeah, what's my size here, which this is, yeah, this may be an app. Let's do 5. Let's say I'm 5'11". Let's say I weigh 188. Age, what's my age? Do I want to say my age? I don't know. I'm not 32. I'm 33. I am 33. I don't know. We'll see. Shoulder shape. I don't know. This doesn't even matter, you know. Let's see. XL. Okay, interesting. It's also interesting that's also in Spanish here. So I don't know. Did I miss something? Was this supposed to be? Was this a Spanish? Hold on. Let's investigate. I also see. Wait, what? Yeah, I'm very confused here. Okay, so video's not working. Also, we have an euro. Is that a euro up here for international shipping? But I'm in the US. That's something that I would look into. I mean, yeah, anytime that you're selling internationally with Shopify, you have the ability to toggle between what region you're selling, and you can actually change the formatting of your site. You can change the copy of this site to make it match. You know, if I'm in the US and I see that, I'm gonna be kind of turned off a little bit. You know, like, is this really? Are you gonna be able to send it to me? Right? Like, all those questions start populating in my head. And then the images. So you see some of these, like envío gratis, dos camisetas. Like, that's all Spanish. So I don't know if maybe the original language is Spanish and maybe we've translated everything to English, but looking at those small details, it's definitely going to be important. All right, last here we have DanielDarwin.com. Join the evolution. Again, I would recommend swapping this out. Instead of joining the evolution, having the 15% off be the actual headline here. Love the call to action. I think that's great there. Live free, be awesome. So it's kind of ambiguous. Same with, like, yeah, the navigation here. Free souls, I don't know what that means. Wish list, I know what that means. Shop now. Oh, okay, that's it. Yep. So yeah, I think homepage wise, yeah, there just needs to be better context. Again, that word featured, I would remove that from your vernacular and have something that's just more in tune with Daniel Darwin and the type of customers that you're going to have here. So I think, yeah, live free, be awesome. Like, it's just very ambiguous. It's very vague in terms of the information or what am I gonna find in here. I think if actually that premium joggers that we saw there, if that wasn't there, I don't know that I would know what you're selling. Just looking at the name, Daniel Darwin, looking at the headline, looking at the video itself, I mean, yeah, it could be clothing, but maybe it's an app that allows me to meet my friends at a coffee shop. I don't know. Maybe that's what live free and be awesome means. So yeah, I think at a glance, there needs to be more context besides just that single sentence up here on the premium joggers, just so that we can get it right away. I'm also very curious on what this free souls is. Meet our free souls. Hold on. So meet our free souls. So these are people. So there's more. Oh, there's two. Okay, yeah, I'm more confused. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if these are like ambassadors or is it just people who are living free in the moment? How do I get to be on this page? Or are these the owners of the brand? Find your next base. Yeah. Again, more context, more info here. It's just very ambiguous. I don't know what the free souls, what this means. I'm guessing, yeah, it's the community is a community around Daniel Darwin, right? But yeah, again, just kind of a little bit odd there. Shop will give me the full collection. So Hider Hat, Lounger, Trainer, Voyeur. Again, product information, not product information, but the actual titles of the products. Yeah, these need to improve a little bit. I think at a glance, obviously, like the gist of this is the premium joggers that are made in LA. If I'm clicking on shop, I think it's super important that one, I would probably do the actual jogger, so the Lounger, the Trainer, and the Voyeur. Like, I would have them just 3 across, and then right underneath I would have the Hydro Hat and the Travel Thermos, because those 3 should be your best selling items. So just having them at a glance, 1, 2, 3, and then again, I would probably use either badges for each of them, or like a sentence just right underneath that talks about the difference between these, right? Like, it may be that the Lounger, I mean, the name kind of implies a little bit of maybe what I'm hoping of what it is, right? Maybe the Lounger is literally for lounging, the Trainer is for the gym, but having that sentence just right underneath to fully explain and talk about who this one item is actually for versus this one. I mean, you could even include information about maybe the material and like this one is like 100% breathable. This one is 100% comfy, right? Like, whatever those descriptions are going to be, I think that's going to be super important. I would probably use more of the real estate. I would get rid of the filters here. Not get rid of them, but I would, if there's a way to hide them, kind of like how you have the sort by here, kind of like hidden. If we can put them up here instead of right there, because you don't have a whole lot of products, so filters and sorting doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So if at a glance we can actually just include more context about the products here within the collection page, then that's the way that I would do it. Let me look at one of the product pages here. Okay, so you're doing some icons in here, which is good. You got features, fabric. Okay, yes, I'm glad that you have this. Terra blend. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what I would want to see in a website like this, where like maybe it's limited in the amount of products, but you can actually expand on the benefits of the product. And to be honest, like, I think there's still an opportunity to dive even deeper into this. For example, like I'm very curious about this hidden car pocket. Show me a picture of it. Show me a quick little clip of it. I think a lot of these could probably be broken into either individual sections. Like, make this more of a landing page where you're truly talking about the benefits and the features of this product. I think that you're doing a good job. You're kind of just scratching the surface here in terms of like the information. The more detailed you can have, and the more images, the more of the zoomed in shots, the more you can explain things in a succinct way, the more I'm going to justify the $98, right, for these joggers. So I think that this is definitely good, but you could definitely expand and do more. Something I would recommend, I always recommend here at the bottom of the product page, show me the recent reviews, show me the additional products that you have for sale. It's the same thing as if I was walking into your like a physical store and I'm presented with these pair of joggers, but if I look to my left and I look to my right, I still see more products because you have more things to offer, right? So showcasing them throughout the website, it's going to be very important. I do want to see real quick, because I don't know that for any of these I've added to cart. Maybe I have. Again, yeah, some of the same notes that I talked about earlier. Just removing the additional payment buttons on the product page, removing the view to cart. What we want is a linear path. We don't want a tree of decisions, right? When it comes to purchasing a product, we want to have a more linear path to get to that thank you page. That's the ultimate goal, right? Getting to that thank you page. I don't think it's getting to the checkout, because the checkout they can still abandon. Getting to the thank you, that means that they've actually purchased something.
All right, and that's it for today's audits. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, or you can comment down below in this video with your link to your website, and we'll gather all those up and we'll create a part 3, I believe. We've done a couple of these already. So if you have your website and you want us to audit it live on our channel, just let us know and we'll go ahead and do that. All right, talk to you soon.